Good evening, everybody. We are so excited to have you here for part 2 of Worlds of Flavor Thursday. We're kicking things off today with Salud, a Spanish wine experience as part of our reception. And I have the pleasure of introducing Felix Meana and Katie Button, who are the owners and operators of Katie Button Restaurants and the Cúrate Tapas Bar in Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Take it away.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We're excited to be here. I'm Katie, and this is my husband, Felix, and we own and operate Curate in Asheville, North Carolina. And we're today going to just be talking to you about Spanish wine. I'll let Felix do most of the talking because he knows more about the wines that he's sharing than I do. And, you know, if you have questions or anything and you want to like type them in, and we'll pay attention to that and can, you know, address those questions, or just want to say, hey, we'll keep an eye on the chat as we're going.
So like Katie say, I'm one of the owners of Curate. I'm the one in charge of the wine program, and I'm native of Spain. So that's why I'm so passionate about Spanish wines. And actually today, you know, even though it's a wine experience, we want to start with something a little bit different. We want to start with a cider because we feel the season and we feel the apple. And in a country that is known for cider, as the United States, you know, we bring these special ciders from Spain that are a little bit more like a natural and more traditional made. So today I'm happy to introduce you to a cider that actually is a sparkling cider. So something that the Americans, you know, will be more like a maybe.
It's a good like entry into Spanish style ciders,
yeah,
no? Like
yeah.
because
so
of
the factory they made this cider. They also make a traditional cider, natural cider style, but they've been making cider for years, and now they're more in a more modern way to make cider. And this is something like a very special. It's a cider that's been fermented in chestnut barrels and then also in stainless tanks, but then has a second fermentation in bottle. So what it brings to a wine, kind of, you know, like a style of a cava or champagne that you can definitely, if you're doing this in a blind tasting, it will be really tricky.
To know what it is, you're right. Yeah.
Well, you will get the acidity
yeah.
and the greenness and the apple right in the front, but you know what I mean. It's like it's very delicate, right?
Yeah. There's a good question here. Is cider particular to, you know, the region of Asturias in Spain, or are there other regions that are producing it?
They are known for the northern region of Spain, particularly in Asturias and also the Basque Country. That's a good question.
Are there other areas in Spain that are making cider that you know of or have tried?
Not really. Yeah, Basque Country and Asturias probably are the two regions.
And this is from Asturias.
That's from Asturias. Yeah, the Trabanco family have been making cider in Asturias for years.
This is I didn't know that. It's the same family as the Trabanco family.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Even though the brand is Palma Aurea?
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know that was the same.
It's a Brut Nature. So.
Yeah. The name of it is, somebody's asking, it's the Palma Aurea Brut Nature. Felix can pronounce that better than I can.
You can't
you
really.
Read it
can you type it maybe?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll put it here in the chat. Let's see. And what does it, what would you pair with it?
So I will do like basically, you know what I mean, like something that they will go very well and very naturally pairing would be cheese, you know, from the area from Asturias. You know, we're in an area that is known for their cheeses. So I think the cheese it will go very well. And also like seafood, you know, like oysters, you know, any kind of shellfish that come from that area. Northwest of Spain is known for shellfish. So I think some nuts as well.
Mm-hmm. It's dry, but not like crazy, you know, I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's dry and a little bit funky, but not like those natural Spanish ciders that are super funky, and
the bubbles
help a lot. Yeah, the bubbles helps. It makes it, that's why I think it's a good entry into the world of Spanish cider.
The reason that we start with the cider is because we're following the wines that we are selling this month of November for our Cúrate Wine Club. It's a wine club that we start last month, actually, in October, and we're very proud and excited. We already have a few members, you know, that we keep, you know, like bringing these exciting wines and twists, you know, like let's see how they got the new delivery this past week. So we're gonna pass from the cider to a wine. You know, we're in the northern region of Spain, so we're gonna keep it in that area. So we're gonna move to Rioja Alavesa, where we find this wine, Ostatu. It's a winery in the Rioja Alavesa. It's a winery that's been run for a family for over almost 250 years. You know, it's a family that they're pretty much hands-on on the winery. They do the farming, they do the everything. The whole family is involved in the winery, and it's a winery they know very well because I take. We also have a sideline business. We take people to Spain. We do trips to Spain, and we actually visit this winery, Katie, in the Rioja Alavesa. So this is a wine that's made with pretty much 85% of Viura, is one of the main grapes in Rioja for white wines, and 15% of Malvasia. So we are known in Spain for the white wines from also northern Spain, but the west, from the green of Spain, from Albariños, Godellos, you know, Ribeiro. So this is what people are known more in Spain for their white wines, but people think in Rioja they only make red wine. So I was happy to showcase, you know, a wine, you know, there's no red, there's white, you know, and it's a white for the season that we are. I think is what the bar is asking you, right? For you, Albariños, you know, all this kind of, they're all year wines, but they're wines that are maybe more like when the spring season comes, summer, you know. I think if you're looking for a wine that has a little bit more of a structure, one that has a little bit more of a body, I think the Rioja wines style are always like a good option. So let me see, Katie, you haven't been in the winery.
No, exactly. No. You haven't taken me to the winery. Is the problem.
So we opened Curate 10 years ago. So I get the opportunity to meet a lot of importers, and some of them, they allow me to travel with them back to Spain and meet these beautiful people in these wineries and create relationships that then allow me to come back in my own and bring people from the States, and that's why I create this credit trip thing where you know, we can continue, you know, this relationship and see how these wines keep evolving, you know, year after year.
It's kind of I don't know, what do you think? It's like
What do you think?
Grassy and like
A lot of herbs, right? Like very herbal.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like what's that fruit? It kind of smells like I don't know, like banana or something like that, like, you know, the banana and.
Yeah, this flavor like banana. That would be more like an Albariño, like. I think like what it's telling me is like it's asking me for white asparagus or for like maybe from Tarragon, Estragon, you know, things that you can, you know, like a very like this kind of herbs, you know, they.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, I think it's a one that will go really well with it. Kate is going to be later, you know, talking about a paella dish that I think, you know, I mean, that this wine actually will go really well with it, you know, because it's a rice dish that you're going to make with the squid and squid ink. So that umami, you know,
the carbonations and like the richness of
the prawns.
Yeah. There's a question in here. Is the Ostatu grape Tempranillo or something else? You mentioned the grapes. You said
no. It's not Tempranillo here. This is Viura and Malvasia. Tempranillo is a red grape. They actually we're going to be seeing soon in the next wine.
And these wines, you mentioned that we put together a wine club. So part of like one of our ways, we have restaurants, and one of our ways of like realizing that not all our customers could come to us, our dining rooms were at 50% capacity, that we needed to come up with ways to be able to reach our guests and customers in their homes. And also we used to do these trips to Spain through Curate trips, and we needed to like figure out a way, how do we get people to travel to Spain when they can't travel, and sending them wine and talking to them about it, and talking about the stories of the producers that you visited is a good way to do that.
And every trip we have always is wine involved in the trip. So like we are in Catalonia, we were to visit, the region of Empordà. This is my region where I come from, in the Costa Brava, near France and north of Barcelona. And then we're going to take them to the south of Spain. We're going to visit Jerez. They're going to know more about sherry. And we also do trips to Portugal, and we do trips to the Basque Country. When we go to the Basque Country is when we visit this area of Rioja Alavesa, where the winery Ostatu comes, because it's the area from Rioja this closest to the Basque Country. We can call it the mountain Rioja. It's a beautiful landscape there. This one, Ostatu, is more on the bottom of the mountains, but the one that we're going to be testing later is pretty much now. It's gonna be the Remeyuri. So this we're talking now like a something a little bit more like a Rioja style wine, but made let's say from a much more like it was probably one of the first wineries in the new modern era of Rioja. I believe the winery has been since they take over the winery. It was a winery like from the times of the monks, of course, but the building on the winery take over like about 50 years ago. So the winery that we were talking before is family owned for 250 years. So these people that they've been working the land and farmers, and so there are two different styles of wineries. This is more rustic, more old school, more hands-on. And this is something a little bit more modern, where Telmo Rodriguez, one of the visionaries of the wine world in Spain, is making this beautiful wine. So he has different projects all over Spain, but here in Remeyuri is making this beautiful wine. This is a Reserva 2013. It's made with pretty much 80% Tempranillo, and then it has a blend of Grenache and Graciano. That are also, autochthon grapes from the area, not only Tempranillo. People think in Rioja we only drink Tempranillo, so it's not true. But it is true that the main grape is Tempranillo. So this is also Rioja Alavesa. So we're still in the same DO of Rioja in northern Spain. El meu català és dolent. That's him.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. And I went, hi, Kim. Yeah, you know what I think that are you grabbing more glasses or okay? I think that the Ostatu would have gone well with the clams that we cooked the other day.
That's true.
Yeah. We cooked these clams with just like a little bit of garlic and a splash of white wine and some parsley outside on our grill, and they turned out great, but they were missing this glass of Ostatu, I think.
So these three wines that I pick are from the same importer. So this is Andre Thomas with the Mason selection. He's actually based in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So we're very lucky to have him very close. And he has an amazing portfolio, showing a lot of regions from Spain, but he's focused in northern wines and also wines from the south, like more sherry style wines. And we are showcasing him in our wine club this month because the relationship that we have, and because everything I was telling you before, you know, like our relationship with the wineries when we go to visit them in Spain.
And the question about who the importer is, which I just saw popped up, that you said Andre Tamers, and the company is the Maison, no? Selection?
Yes,
I'll put it in here.
It's very easy to recognize them because he was the one smart enough to put the Poron on their logo. So that's their logo right here with the Poron. So the Maison Selection, and his name is Andre Tamers.
I'll put his name in here.
And this wine is a wine that is being like aged over 20 months in barrel, and then is being aged in bottle for 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a Reserva.
Yeah.
I think
It's very buttery, no? It's like.
it's funny because I have the same tons of herbs that have in the other ones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it stick with me. You know, the herbs.
And I get like I don't know.
Earthy, dark fruit. No, the spice too.
Yes, that's coming now. My very first was like a lot, I don't know, like farm butter for some reason. Somebody's asking you to demonstrate how to use a Poron. Kim is asking you. Let me see if we have one and we'll show you.
I think you already saw me doing a Poron, so that's not fair for you to ask that question.
You're in our kitchen, so I'm opening cabinets because you're in our kitchen. So it's really funny. Don't peek in our messy cabinets.
I know.
Set up here.
Actually, that's a good question.
You set up here. It's okay. I don't want you to leave me. Don't leave me alone with the wine people. I'm in the food side of things, and so anyway, Felix grabs the Poron. What I was saying before about the wine club, just talking about like business sides of things, is we've really been. I mean, I think that the whole industry has had to get really creative on just thinking of ways to reach our customers in other ways than what we're used to. I mean, our dining rooms are like the center of how we reach our customers, and so coming up with ways to connect with them at home through a wine club, or like we do something similar to this each month with our wine club members, where we sit down and like go through the wines. So you guys are serving as good practice for us. And Kim is asking me more questions in Catalan, and my Catalan is not great. So what's she asking me?
I like the challenges. So of course I have a Poron at home. So thank you for asking that question. So you are making me look good. So I think I'm gonna do a demonstration, and I will do it. Normally the Poron is made to drink with red wine. That's how we drink it in Catalonia. And when we're grilling outside and we're eating calçots, and that's the best way to share wine without cleaning glasses, right?
Yes, exactly. And I guess, I mean, if you do it right, you don't touch the end of it with anything, so you can pass it between people. It seems maybe not like the best, pandemic safe method of drinking, I think. But that's okay.
Should let Katie start?
No, I'll pour it all over myself. I am not. You're gonna do it. Somebody's asking, how do you envision connecting with your customers this way in the future if the pandemic and restrictions keep this way? Yeah, I mean, I think that we're gonna continue. I'm gonna be talking a little bit about this in the session that I'm doing later, and about kind of the different things that we've been doing and changing. But I think that a lot of these new things that are being inspired by us to connect with our customers aren't going to go away. We're excited. They're adding to our brand.
Yeah, actually the wine club and the nationwide shipment that we started a week ago, are connecting us back to these customers that they still don't comfortable to come out and see us in the restaurant. So I think this just gonna keep growing.
Yeah.
You know, we started our wine club last month, and we already have 70 members. So we are very excited about that, and cheers to that. And I'm gonna do a demonstration of the Coron.
Do it. Go for it. Yeah, all yours. So you'll notice how he's like moving it further away. Yeah, he's pretty good at that.
What do you guys think? It's not for Katie?
I'm gonna pour this all over myself. This is like when the amateur tries this. I did see that Kim is talking about amazing food. She said espardeñas, calçots, and a coron, which honestly, espardeñas are one of the most amazing foods ever if you haven't had them. And calçots are these like spring onions that they grow in Spain. They grill and then grill, like kind of char them on the outside, peel them, and then dip them in romesco sauce and eat them outside in fields and drink from corons and, you know, do all of that. So they're amazing. But
Come on, Katie, come on.
I'm like really not good at this.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, I am nervous.
There we go. Keep going up.
No, I don't have the chug reflex. There was maybe a time in my life where that was possible, but I have 2 children.
Oh,
I don't chug anymore.
I think I'm gonna start warming up now. I think I can do one more. That's it.
No, it's 5 o'clock where you are. It's 8 o'clock here. So this is the way to kick off the day, I guess.
Well, I hope you're enjoying our wine experience because we have cider. We have some from Asturias. We drink some wines from Rioja Alavesa, and now we're.
We didn't talk about the pairings for the Ramiuri. That was the one thing.
So when I talk about pairings, I always like to pair the wines with the region where the wine is being made. So when I think about Rioja, I think about red peppers. I think about asparagus. I think about lamb. I think about like a lamb chops.
Lamb, yes. The lamb would be so good with this. With like herbs or something like rosemary and thyme and yeah. It's amazing to me in Spain how the foods that, I mean, this is, I feel like is in any region, and particularly in Europe, where the regions and their food are so specialized that the wines that they produce in the area that the wines are from are always the best pairings. And it's just amazing when you think about it, how the, you know, culinary history and food and wine history, like kind of, I guess it makes sense. They grew together. So it would make sense why those go together. Does anybody have any other questions for us? You're welcome to type them in the chat. I don't know if we have anything else to share.
Boy, if you wanna know more about the Spanish wines, you maybe should join if we can ship to your state our wine club. So next month we're gonna be showcasing wines from Ribera del Duero. So that's gonna be, it's winter time, so we kind of feel that charm, and I think that will be a good region, you know, to bring.
Yeah, and I think that, like, you know, one of the things that we were talking about that, oh, here's a good question. What are the most underrated native Spanish grapes? Things like Godello, Macabeo, Charello don't get much, you know, attention in the U.S.
Well, I think probably the grapes from the green Spain, from Galicia, you know, like the red varietals, you know, like Galicia has been known for their whites, for their albariños, and mainly for their godellos that you were mentioning, Kim. But their red varieties, you know what I mean, it's like are like very unrated. People doesn't know that much about Brancellao, about Bastardo, about, you know, like even Mencia, you know, like it will be, you know, for me one of the that's the grape that I like the most right now from Spain. Mencias, they're making beautiful Mencias, and not only in Bierzo but also in Galicia, and that probably will be the one. I'm also, I love the wines from Canary Islands, and I think, people in the States are start to realizing more and more, these beautiful wines that they come from the islands. Yeah, that will be, and of course, always, the wines from Jerez. Jerez is my, we drink sherry. You open my cooler, you will find sherry. We always have sherry in the house. I think is not only one of the wines that people doesn't know that much about it because the complexity of it, but I think that people don't understand how well sherry pairs with food, right?
Yes, yes. It actually it's maybe one of the easiest things to match. I mean, it keeps you wanting to eat more. There's something about the salinity and
The creation.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is perfect. Like Lustau, somebody's asking why aren't sherries more popular in the U.S.?
Well, actually, they're becoming more popular. I've been in the States for almost 12 years now, and I see a big evolution, and people like Lucas Paya, for example, somebody that I learned a lot from. He introduced me to that world when we were working together for Chef Jose Andres in his restaurants, and he's now been an ambassador of sherry, and especially he's asking Lustau, and he's been doing seminaries and educating people about sherry. So we just come from last week from Sherry Week. It was an international week in the world, and it was very well presented in the States. So I think sherry is actually, finding the niche in the States.
Yeah, I would say that the drier sherries, that it's about people trying them and learning about them and then getting accustomed to drinking them. I think there's a little bit, the first time that you have a drier sherry or fino or a manzanilla, it can be shocking because it's just so different. But after you have it a couple of times, you have to kind of train yourself like any new, I think, beverage, using the fermented world. You have to train yourself how to enjoy it, and then you pretty soon become addicted. So, and yeah, so it's great. Well, good. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. I think that
I'm gonna keep drinking.
Do it again. I love it. Oh my gosh, I bought a Perón when I was in Spain, and I have not been confident enough to try it. So I think this is giving me the confidence. That's awesome. Okay, so I put a link to your wine club in the chat. So if anybody's interested, please take a look. Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.
And we have more of Katie coming up. She'll be on the main stage a little bit later. Please join us there now. And then we're also going to do a Meet the Author with Katie a bit after that. So stick around. Thanks so much, everybody.